Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're all doing well. So for this week's video, I'll be telling you guys the 10 things that I've learned about friendship from one of my childhood favourite films, which is How to Train Your Dragon. Not just the first film, but all 3 films. So in that case, let's get to it. So the first element of friendship that is shown within the How to Train Your Dragon franchise is generosity, which is shown specifically in this scene where Toothless shares his meal with Hiccup, which Hiccup had given to him as a starting point for them to bond. You can tell by Hiccup's face that he isn't that delighted to have just eaten some raw fish that was just in Toothless's mouth, but he still showed some gratitude as a result of Toothless's generosity in sharing his food, which he will show through a slight smile, to which Toothless then tries to mimic as both characters begin to build an understanding of each other, which brings us to the beginning of their friendship. The forbidden friendship between a Viking and a dragon. Then we have the next element, which is reliability. If you haven't watched How to Train Your Dragon before, Toothless needs Hiccup's help to fly due to the fact that he had lost half of his tail. As he was shot down by Hiccup, he wanted to prove to his village that he could kill a dragon, but after meeting Toothless, his perspectives had changed. So to make up for this mistake, Hiccup built a new tail for Toothless so that he could fly again. But in order for Hiccup and Toothless to fly together, they would need to rely on one another, which Toothless is currently doing at this precise moment, as he needs to rely on Hiccup's blacksmith skills, that his newly built tail would help him to fly, and he not only relies on that, but also on Hiccup, who is riding him, as Hiccup is the one who is keeping that tail open for Toothless to fly. Throughout their training, they make mistakes, like accidentally crashing into some cliffs, which leads to Toothless giving Hiccup a little smack with his ear, telling him that he isn't doing something right. As a result, this is what friends do. They not only rely on each other on doing things right, but also on making each other aware when they are doing wrong. Here we see that Hiccup and Toothless are relying on each other as they push each other to work out their limits with how high they can go, until we see that everything suddenly goes wrong, as the equipment that attached Hiccup to the saddle on Toothless has loosened, causing the two characters to fall in mid-flight, to which they both are struggling in coming to each other's aid as they are trying to think of ways out of the situation. But soon enough, they are able to join back together again, from which Hiccup quickly forced Toothless to a position that helps them to just about avoid the trees. But they are still not in a safe position, as Hiccup was clearly relying on his sheet of paper which told him when to open up Toothless's tail in relation to the wind, and not actually relying on Toothless, and he soon realizes this once he threw away the sheet and focused more on how Toothless was flying in order for them to then work together instead of each other doing their own thing. Next is steadfastness. Here Toothless is fighting another dragon as it was about to attack Hiccup in the battle arena where young Vikings had to prove themselves to the village. So right now, Toothless is currently showing steadfastness as he believes that Hiccup is the kind of human that is worth saving, despite others that have hunted down dragons. So he had no choice but to go against one of his own, until the roles are reversed as Hiccup then shows some steadfastness as he tries to force Toothless to get away from the arena, as he knew that his village surrounding the arena would not take this to heart and would see Toothless only as a threat, as he is a dragon, which results in Toothless attacking them as he sees them as a threat to Hiccup, and you can see how well they have bonded, as Toothless listened to Hiccup when he told him to stop, and also by the fact that they try to protect each other in their own ways. However, Toothless then gets captured by the village once he attacked their chief, and so Hiccup is left to explain this to the chief, who is also his father, where some truth is revealed as Hiccup tries to stand up for his dragon rather than siding with his village, as he knew that Toothless was only trying to help, which in other eyes looked as though Toothless attacked the arena, although that was not the case. Yet his father still doesn't listen to him, as he was still outraged by what just happened. In the ending scene of the first How to Train Your Dragon film, we have empathy. Once the battle is over and Hiccup's dad finally realizes that dragons aren't always as they seemed, we then have this scene where Hiccup realizes that as a result of the previous battle, he had lost one of his legs, which Toothless emphasizes with, as he knows what it's like to lose something, as he lost his tail at the beginning of the film. So their understanding of each other has not only developed when they are flying, but also on more of an emotional level, as they both now understand what each other are going through, as they both could have been limited in what they can do, especially if Toothless didn't have a new tail, and if Hiccup didn't have a metal leg. This then helps their bond grow stronger, as they both have learned what it means to help one another, whether that is by building a tail or helping them to walk. Now we are on to the second film and the final battle, which shows a very important element of friendship, and that is forgiveness. Otherwise, how else would a friendship last if friends don't learn to forgive each other and learn from their mistakes by making up for them? So in this scene, Toothless is being mind controlled by the Alpha Dragon, who is under Drago's control, and Hiccup is trying to get him back so that they can save the rest of the dragons from being mind controlled. But firstly, Hiccup had to forgive Toothless for killing his dad, who died saving him from Toothless's blast, from which Toothless didn't have a choice, as he was being mind controlled. So no matter what a friend has done, it is important for you to still be there for them, to help them by supporting them, and helping them to get past their mistakes. Continuing on from this scene, we then have trust. Once Hiccup have pulled Toothless out of the Alpha's mind control, they both come together to defeat Drago and his Alpha Dragon, which means that in order to do this, Hiccup would have to blindfold Toothless so that he couldn't be mind controlled by the Alpha again, which means that Toothless needs to have a lot of trust in Hiccup, who will be guiding him throughout the battle, just as Hiccup has so much trust in his relationship with Toothless that he will be able to help Toothless escape the Alpha's mind control. In relation to this, trust is important within a friendship, as it becomes easier to help one another and work together, just like Hiccup and Toothless trusted in each other that they know what they are doing as they work as a team to defeat this foe. In the third and final film, there is a sense of encouragement in this scene where Hiccup is trying to help Toothless build a relationship with the Light Fury, which is the same as the Night Fury but a female, which to Hiccup and Toothless was a surprise, as they thought that Toothless was the last of his species. Currently, Hiccup is hidden away so that the Light Fury couldn't see him, as she doesn't like humans at this moment within the film. Yet Hiccup is still willing to help his friend by supporting him as much as he can, just by being there, since this is all new to Toothless. Great friends are known to encourage each other no matter what, and if it doesn't go that well, then you can deal with it together. From years of being friends, Hiccup and Toothless has shown a lot of loyalty towards each other, just by saving each other and standing up for each other. In this specific scene, Hiccup shows a lot of loyalty to Toothless rather than himself, as he would do anything for him, even if that meant sacrificing himself so that the Light Fury could save Toothless from falling in the air as he was shot by Grimwell. So what we need to learn from this is that every friendship needs to start with loyalty in order for it to truly grow, which Hiccup and Toothless has shown just by how much they care for each other. Throughout this film, Hiccup gradually learns that he needs to let go of Toothless for both of their sakes. Even though it is hard to let go of certain friends, especially those that you are close to and that you have known for years, sometimes this is best for the both of you, as a friend's life choices can be affected by your own and vice versa. But that doesn't mean that it is the end of your friendship, as your life can be influenced by a friend even without them there. As a result, Hiccup and Toothless are a great example of this, because even though Toothless will be gone, Hiccup is still fighting for the safety of all dragons, which was influenced on him by Toothless from when they first met. So if Hiccup and Toothless had never departed, then how would each of them learn to be their own kind of leader? Hiccup as the chief of Berk, and Toothless as the alpha of all dragons. In relation to this, Hiccup knows that he also has to let go of his friend in order to keep him safe from those that are still hunting dragons. Years have now passed since Hiccup and Toothless departed, and in this final moment of the film we get to see them being reunited. Despite the fact that they haven't seen each other for quite a while, this scene just shows that they have never lost their connection to each other, as Toothless instantly recognises Hiccup once he reached out his hand and looked away to show that he wasn't a threat, which is what Hiccup did in the first film when he first met Toothless. Friends are never distant, as long as you try to stay in touch with them, even if that means getting to know each other all over again after years of being apart.